Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you love me. I love you too. We're here for an almost personal reading. But before I get into that, which I have a lot pulled out for, quick housekeeping for the new year, because we are only a couple days away in real time. Okay, we're only a couple days away in real time. The message is timeless, but as of right now, I just posted the January 2024 readings. As of right now, they're viewable publicly. Okay, there is 156 timestamps in total for your clicking pleasure. Okay, because I did all 12 zodiac signs in the live and did a who are you dealing with for each sign. So there was literally 12 timestamps for each of the insights and 144 more timestamps for all of the who are you dealing with for each sign. So hey Kristen, how you doing? Hi Rita, how are you? So all of the timestamps are there. If you are not a member of the channel, you will only be able to view it up to January 1st. After the 1st, it will be members only. Okay, it doesn't matter which tier you are. Pineapple patrons and higher will be able to view it after January 1st. So if you haven't caught it, if you haven't caught it, you only have a couple days. You only have a couple days if you're not a member. Okay. Also, tomorrow is the Saturday leading into January for the week. Hey, Patty, how are you? Happy New Year. So I will be doing the weekly duality report that is typically just for Divine Rebels. I will be airing that one public since it's going into the first week of the month. And that will be available through the first week public. And that will also revert to Divine Rebel Diamond members only. Okay. So there's a few things coming up that are going to be switching to members only. And I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that in advance. Also, we had the last moon event of the year on the 26th of December. And that was the last time that I was doing the secret code names the way that I've been doing them. They will premiere publicly with a members only chat, but they will revert immediately back to members only once the lives are done. If they're up for a little longer, I'm never going to let them go more than 24 hours. All right. So anytime there is a moon event moving forward for 2024, I believe the first one is it's either January 11th. Now I got to check it. Now I got to check it. Let's see here. Because it's going to be the new moon in Capricorn. Yeah, January 11th. Okay. I was right. It is going to be on 111. And that, like I said, will air public. It'll be like a pick a card. I'm going to be doing it that way. And then once the live is over within 24 hours, it'll be members only. All right. If you're a member, you can rewatch it whenever you want. It will always be there for members. But publicly, you might want to hit the notification bell. If you don't want to miss it, you might want to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Okay. So that you don't miss them. And I will do my best to post like I did this one in advance, so you guys kind of knew that I was going to go live before I went live. I will do that in advance for the moon events so that you guys can get the notifications. Okay, so with that, we're going to get into the almost personal reading. Whatever comes out, comes out. I've got Harrow, I've got my hand-drawn deck, I've got my energy alignment cards, I've got my AstroDice, and I've got 3 different tarot decks that we're going to get into. But first, Pineapple Charming. We've got to do Pineapple Charming first. Now, Pineapple Charming, for those of you who are new and not familiar with Pineapple Charming, he's a synchronicity discernment charming pineapple. Okay, there's well over 1,000 different charms inside of Pineapple Charming. it is quite easy to become addicted to like online social media tarot readings, and people, you know, tend to try and force every single reading to fit. And one, it's not healthy, and two, not every reading is meant for everyone. Okay, so the charms are to help you discern whether or not a message is for you, so that you can mentally detach or pay attention before we get too deep into it. Okay. One or more of the charms, I would say there's something in the message for you. Okay. One or more. If the whole reading resonates, great. But sometimes the universe, spirit just has one particular thing in a message. Then when you hear it, you're like, that's why I was guided to the message, right? That's why the charms came out. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest for someone else. Don't force anything to fit. All right. So with that, let's get into Mr. Charming and see who he is speaking to today. I love y'all so much, by the way. Thank you for your presence. I love y'all. All right, that's good. Going to the far corners of the pineapple. All right, cool. Thank you, Charming. Appreciate you. We've got lots of charms. There will be timestamps, okay, in the replay. So if you guys want to fast forward through the charms later, you can. If you want to dip around inside the reading later, you can. Okay, but we're going to get into these timestamps. So, well, these charms. Fuck you, Mercury retrograde. You're still here. Oh, God. All right. So we have first charm L. You may be sitting, sipping, enjoying a beer, or have some other synchronicity to do with beer at the moment. You might be disagreeable with someone who is drinking beer at the moment. So let's see. We also have the King of Hearts. So you may be dealing with a masculine energy or a water sign, someone who is emotionally intelligent. Could also be you in your own masculine energy, regardless of gender. We've also got sign language. So you might know ASL or know someone who does. That is the ASL symbol for I love you. Okay. Now you know. All right. We also have Frida Kahlo. So you may be an artist. You may be Mexican. You may be a Mexican artist, straight up. Okay. You may also share some kind of crazy synchronicity with her in your life. It would be a wild synchronicity if you did. Frida Kahlo's life was fucking wild. Okay. We've also got adopt, don't shop. So you may have adopted a pet recently or in general. You may also be adopted even if you are not a furry friend. You may also be adopted. Okay, it might be a synchronicity for you. We've also got, you may have adopted a child as well, to be fair. Hello, Brittany. Nice to meet you. I'm so glad. That's why Spirit has me here. We've also got the mirror. Okay, so you could be dealing with what feels like a mirror soul, romantic or otherwise, right? I truly believe that everybody is in our mirror for a reason. We've also got, just stuck myself, bowling pins. All right, so you may have been bowling recently. Maybe you were in a bowling league, right? That the bowling is synchronistic for you. Maybe you were bowling with other things at home in your hallway. I don't know what y'all do for fun. I don't judge either. We've also got our cute little corgi. So you may have a puppy, but specifically corgi, because I've got a lot of different dog charms in here. Let's see. We've also got 222. So you may be seeing 222 lately as a synchronicity that might be popping up more often. You may also be born in February or on the 22nd, or literally 22 years old. Okay. You might have a 2-year-old. You may have two 2-year-olds. I don't know, you know. We've also got one of our mood clouds. I love the mood clouds because some of them truly crack me up. And this is one of them. This is my happily toxic mood cloud. So you or someone you are dealing with may know they're fucking toxic and be really happy about it. So they're like, I don't give a fuck. I know I'm toxic, and they continue to be that anyway. They're charming. So we've also got the Lover's card. So this may pertain to a soulmate. It could also be Gemini energy. Okay. You may also be at a serious choice point in your life, as the Lover's card was originally the choice card. We've got a snow globe as well. I know that is possibly synchronistic for those of us up here in the Northern Hemisphere celebrating the holidays. You may have been around snow globes or have been gifted one. I know I was gifted like a little mini one last year, but I didn't come across any snow globes this year, you know? So just because it's the holiday doesn't mean you're crossing them. We've also got a clothing mannequin for like a seamstress who creates dresses and different clothes and things like that. So you may be someone who works with fabrics and does that kind of design. All right, you may make your own clothes or just make them in general. We also have our panda. So pandas may also be synchronistic for you. We have, I believe it's a Scottish Terrier. So you may also have one of those as a pet as well. Might be super specific. So we've got corgis and we've got terriers now. We've also got a Christmas tree. So you may have already taken yours down. Or you do celebrate the Christmas holiday. Okay. I have a couple different Christmas trees in here. The one that has been coming out was the one with the star ornaments, and this one has regular ball ornaments. So, you know, could be different. You might be one of those people that specifically like really, what's the word I'm looking for? Where people like do like the different themes with their trees. And they have like very specific color balls and stuff like that. You may be into like the real aesthetics of it all. You may have literally gone out and cut yours down because we've also got the saw. You may also have been dealing with a tree on your property or something like that, or cutting up logs and stuff for bonfires. We've got, you may have multiple dogs, and that might be the synchronicity in general, because we've also got the Dalmatian. Okay, so you just might have multiple dogs. You might have different breeds. You might have a mixed breed dog, because now we've got 3 different breeds out, and we have not had that before. We've also got the fairy. So you may love fairies. You may have a tattoo that looks like that one. But we've got the fairies. We've also got Mr. Snowman. Hello, Landon. How you doing? So we've got Mr. Snowman here. You may have made one recently. We've also got horses. So you may be an equestrian. You might own horses, ride them, or enjoy the racetrack. All right. Any of these things can be tattoos too, by the way. We've got a blue bow. Might be super specific because we had the adopt charm come out if you adopted a boy. The bows always remind me of babies. So you might have also had a baby boy born into the family recently. All right. or you're pregnant with one. And if you are, congratulations. We've also got our little turtle. He's so cute. I love some of these cute little charms. I really do. We've also got, ooh, black diamond. We've got our black diamond charm that might be synchronistic for you as well. All right. We've got, I've only got a few more and then we're totally getting into some beads. I've got some letters down there. I've got my witch charm. So you may be notorious for being a witch around the Halloween holiday. You might consider yourself one in everyday life. You may simply want to fly away recently. So who knows why the witch is synchronistic for you? I've also got our lovely key. Always reminds me of Chiron, but there's antique key. All right, so you may own an antique key, skeleton key, or have an odd lock inside your home where one is. Yeah, where's your darn broom? We've also got it's hard for this one to actually sit on my pin, but it's a golden heart with angel wings. Okay. Might be synchronistic for you as well, especially if you unfortunately lost a loved one near the holiday or remember your loved ones at the holiday, right? If you've been going through that, the missing of a loved one. We've also got our apple. You may be a teacher. It's one of my teacher charms. You may just simply love apples. You might have been baking apple pie. You can juice your own apples. I miss juicing. I really do. I miss juicing. I used to do it with my dad in the morning. We've also got silk cord. Okay. So you may be working with different strings, if not silk outright. It's got number 10. Could be a 10 or a worn 40. I don't know. Either one of those numbers could be synchronistic. Okay. And last but not least with the charms, I've got our treasure chest. So this is our love treasure. Okay. It's got a little heart-shaped lock on it. Love treasure. Someone may be treasuring you and the love you give, or you might be feeling that for someone else, or you can feel it coming. I've got 3 micro playing cards. I've got the 3 of diamond, the 4 of diamond, and the 5 of hearts. So 3, 4, 5 may also be a number pattern for you. That is progress for sure when we get numbers in order like that. It may also be a contract with someone that you've been holding on to for a while that's causing you quite a bit of sadness. All right. And because we also have the I know I'm toxic and I don't care charm out here, you might be dealing with someone like that. That might be an indicator of where this reading is potentially going. Okay. Now, signs. I've got really all of these beads. I've got one sign, one zodiac sign that came out. Given I'm going to roll the AstroDice, but the only sign that came out is Capricorn. Okay. So you may have strong Capricorn in your chart. You may have a significant Capricorn placement. It doesn't have to be your big 3. You could have a Capricorn stellium. You can have Capricorn Jupiter and shit. So, you know, Capricorn, it may also pertain to whoever else you're dealing with. And to be fair, it's also Capricorn season right now. So happy birthday, Cap. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Holiday drinks. Yeah. I love spiced like mullein spices and stuff like that. That's fun. So let's see. Letters. Now, the letters are color coded for people who need it super fucking specific. Okay. Where they deny all of the other charms and practically call out spirit. And they're like, yeah, whatever. It's not my message. And then spirit spells their name out for them. So, only for people who need it that kind of specific. Otherwise, take the letters on the whole. Don't get hung up on the colors. Okay. But blue is for boys and pink is for girls. It doesn't matter to me what you resonate as. Okay. As long as it makes sense and resonates to you. And then we have yin and yang, black and white, masculine and feminine dominant. All right. So black is yin, that's feminine dominant, and white is masculine, yang, masculine dominant, regardless of gender. Okay. So I've got in blue, W, W, H, and Y. Okay. In pink, I have P, A, and R. In white, I have R, I. All right. And then in black, I have M, R, F, and E. All right. We're going to try and make some words with these. We're going to see. Anything I say during Pineapple Charming could be synchronistic for you in some way. So let's see. I literally have RAP in pink, so you may legit be a female rapper. Okay. Oh, January 9th. True. Have a merry on birthday to you. Because unfortunately it's not today. So merry on birthday, it's coming. We also have FEW, few. I don't know. Maybe you only have a few of something and maybe that bothers you. I've also got Y with the blue charms. So WHY in blue, you might literally be a male asking yourself that question recently with certain things. I've also got the word pair, PAIR. And I've got the word hairy. So if someone complained that you were hairy lately, or that the fact that you're hairy upsets them in some way, I'm sorry. The spirit had that synchronicity come out for you. We've also got pew. So you may have been in church recently, potentially upstanding at a pew. If you slide an H in there, it's also like got out of that one. So, you know, maybe you just had a close call with something and it's like, you know. I've also got airy. So you may be an air sign. You may have also been accused of being, I can almost too close. Someone may have called you an airhead at some point. People are cruel, right? But we got toxic charms out here. So, you know, let's see. We've also got year. What about it? Leap year may be important. 2024 is not a leap year, right? PEW is your initials. Yeah. Let's see. I've also got pear like the fruit. I've also got WIRE, something about wires. I keep feeling like there should be an L out here, but there's totally not. That M upside down can look like a W. So www, you might be trying to get a website up. Also got rear. Real life got RRR as well. States, I definitely got RI for Rhode Island. I got WI as well for Wisconsin, and WY for Wyoming. AR for Arkansas. PA for Pennsylvania. HW for homework. you may be in college or have to do some homework. Yeah, there's something specific about year. Let's see. I've also got FE for iron, so you may be dealing with some kind of issue with iron in your blood levels or something like that. You may be working with iron, especially if you're like a blacksmith or something, or know someone who is. I've also got HI for Hawaii. All right. I've also got rare. Maybe you like your steaks rare. Maybe people tell you that you're rare. I've also got the word hire. HIRE. So if you applied for a job recently, maybe you're going to get hired. Or maybe you just got hired at a new job. Congratulations if you did. And unfortunately, I also have ER here. So you may have been in an emergency room lately or work in one. And I also have war. Okay, so you may be particularly sensitive about what is going on in the world right now, or you may have served in the military yourself. Okay. Okay. I've also got payer. So like sometimes like someone is the payee and someone is the other end. So that might be significant for you as well. Any names that begin like these could definitely all be initials. I've also got some really unpleasant words like RAPE. So that might be significant as well. Okay. Okay. Weary. Really, Spirit? Why all of a sudden you giving me the sad words? Weary. So you may be really tired of some shit. Okay? So we're going to leave that there. If I see any other words as I'm reading, I'll let you know. I've also got like where. Yeah, so I'm going to put them to the side. All right. Okay. All right. Now, AstroDice. Spirit, what placements could we possibly be dealing with? What energy? We've got Mars. 9th house. I mean, Mars is in Sag. 9th house is Sag. And we've got Virgo, which Saggy squares. So we've got Mars, 9th house, and Virgo. If my camera will focus. There we go. Okay. So placements, houses, planets. We could be dealing with Aries, Sag, Virgo, 1st house, 9th house, or 6th house, Mercury, Jupiter, or Mars. And to be fair, that also counts Scorpio, 8th house, because Mars was the original ruler for Scorpio before Pluto's discovery. All right, so that could include Scorpio as well. If you have any of those in your big three, or if that aligns with any of those houses, this message is probably important for you. On the whole, if you have that particular alignment, if you do have like Virgo in the 9th house and Mars is there or some shit, and Spirit just like crazy called you out, the energy that comes with is a belief in health and service, and the expansion of health and service, and the need to take action in that direction, right? To be the leader, or lead the way in some kind of revolutionary discovery when it comes to health. Okay, that you would be able to expand something in the health field. It could also do a lot with psychology and wisdom and kind of cutting edge knowledge or fresh new take on something, that you would be the leader of a new kind of almost like a new kind of treatment, because Virgo rules the house of health and service, like community. The 9th house, Sagittarius house, is expansion and travel, mental expansion, right? Higher wisdom. It could also be higher education. And then Mars and Aries is known as the leader, and they are an act first, ask questions later type sign. That's why a lot of first responders have strong Aries in their chart. Same thing with military personnel and like police officers and things like that. Firefighters, they tend to have really strong Arian energy. They are rushing into the rescue type people. The quote unquote hero archetype. Okay. So you may have some really, really brilliant ideas when it comes to either health or psychology. And it's any kind of health. Like there's mental health, there's physical health, there's financial health, right? There's psychological health. So it can be all kinds of things, right? Emotional health. You could have a lot to contribute if you were to have those kinds of placements, that might also be really strong energy going on right now. It may be difficult. You might feel it's difficult to do that, but I'm hearing like where there's a will, there's a way though, and everything in divine time. So even if you have to like chip away at it over time, right? Because Sagittarius energy sees the long game, sees the goal, doesn't necessarily know how to get there, but sees the vision, right? The end goal vision. And Virgo is about taking every little step, that no step can be missed. And so you really have to Mars act one step at a time until the goal is reached, right? With those dice. That's that kind of energy. All right. Now, Harrow. Let's get into the Harrow dice. Fuck you, Mercury retrograde. You're still here. The Harrow cards. I was born Mercury retrograde, okay? If you watch my channel, you know I accidentally say what type shit sometimes, and I can't help it. I even listen back to myself and I'm like, Grace, you better hope they know what the fuck you meant. I'm a natal Mercury retrograde in Sag. Kills me. It really does. All right, so let's see. For you guys that don't know what Harrow is, it's Harrow, not Tarot. Harrow is actually from D&D, okay? Dungeons and Dragons. They're pathfinders, fortune-telling cards, but they work very well with regular, everyday messages. I don't have one. Not necessarily sure if I want to do one. I'm tech retarded, to be really fair. That's why I like hand make things with like paper and stuff. Like I made this out of poster board. I even cut all these letters out. Even if I had a website, I wouldn't even know what to do to run it. I wouldn't know what to do. That's why I don't have multiple platforms. I have YouTube and I have Facebook. I have an Instagram. I rarely ever log in it. I don't have a TikTok. I've got a, well, formerly known as Twitter, X account that I have not signed into in like the better part of a year. About a year. I'm awful. I'm on my Facebook and I'm on YouTube and I run an Etsy shop. Like that's about as basic bitch as I can be. It works. It works. It works for now anyway. I'm sure at some point, God knows, if I were to ever end up with being one of those people where I have like a ton of followers, I would probably need your help. So stick around and stay close. I might need you. But yeah, as of right now, I'm way too basic bitch for any of that stuff. I can't even wrap my head around things. Yeah, Facebook and YouTube, like that's where I'm at. All right. So Spirit, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? This almost personal reading. The mute hag is such a bitch. She keeps coming out. She's come out quite a few times in the last few readings. And I've got two absolutely reversed cards. I've got the sickness in reverse, which I'm actually really glad to see, and the betrayal in reverse, which I'm really glad to see. It's just we got this mute hag in the middle of them. We've got the survivor on the bottom of the deck and the hidden truth on top. Yeah, I'm kind of super particular. I'm a little OCD. My Virgo IC line. My inner child can't sleep unless things are perfect. So it's been a learning process my whole life. be okay with things being a little crazy because, you know, Sagittarius, crazy happens. So the hidden truth and the survivor. That's the overall energy with the top and bottom. And I like it. So the hidden truth. Let me show you these cards up close before I get into what they mean. Okay. The hidden truth and the survivor. Now, the hidden truth is an intelligence card. It is also lawful good aligned, so contracted good energy, right? Symbolizes the ability to see past the obvious and the banal to a greater truth within. Sometimes this discovery is an esoteric one. Sometimes it's a literal find, such as an item within a room. Regardless, this is a card with the power to reveal secrets. Never enough truth. Never. The truth is all there really is. So the hidden truth, I mean, yeah, you could be uncovering something within yourself, right? And having an epiphany moment, which I know a couple people ended up having when they were done listening to the full moon in Cancer moon event that I did. People were looking at things differently. I even got 2 emails about that live. So, you know, you might be really figuring out some truths within the self that are helping you make progress. It could also be finding things like an item. So if there is things like betrayal, or stuff like that, like there may be proof. Okay, there may be proof. Sometimes it's a hair. Right? Sometimes it is literally a hair or a smell or a smudge of makeup on a shirt that you didn't know was there. And, you know, you never know, right? It's literally like the hidden truth is about something being revealed. It's also about proof, and it's good aligned, which means whatever it is going to put you in the right direction. Okay. Regardless of what it is that's revealed or uncovered. Okay, now the survivor, the bottom of the deck, is a neutral good card. Okay, the vision is under that, which I love. So the survivor represents a person who has been through an ordeal of some kind. Surrounded by his fallen comrades, the man represents someone or something thought lost forever, but found once more. It can also represent a rebirth. Okay, so it discusses a man. It could very well be a man. It could definitely be masculine energy, which is someone who essentially lost their mind, right? Lost their mind. Maybe not literally like crazy lost their mind, but lost control over their mind, that they had the thoughts or opinions or beliefs of other people dictating their thoughts, which dictate their beliefs, right? Their choices, and ultimately dictates their life, right? Sometimes, you know, especially when we get these revelation type moments with the vision under there, it could be something like, for example, like I'm in Illinois. I still rock a jersey poof. Okay. And it's like my mom always used to say, like, you could take the girl out of Philly, but you can't take the Philly out of the girl. And I kind of felt that way today. I was like, wow, like thinking about like, you can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. I still drive like I'm from Jersey. I still talk like I'm from Jersey. Right. And it's like, knowing that you grew up a certain way or around certain people and their opinions or beliefs became ingrained inside your mind, you know, and that's where we get our suppressed wounds from, right? Sometimes we have thoughts or beliefs about ourselves. Sometimes we have thoughts or beliefs about other people. And those thoughts or those words keep spinning around like a broken record inside our minds, and we don't remember that we can think for ourselves. You know, like an example would be maybe someone who grew up in a family where the parents got divorced because there was infidelity, right? And they grew up thinking that cheating is what people do, and it happens and it sucks, but it's a part of life, right? And then maybe they end up in relationships, maybe they get cheated on in their marriage, maybe they end up with a person who was, you know, cheating on whatever them, they cheat, whoever, and then, you know, they're serving in the military, and the military tells you day one, like, hey, forget about your wife, forget about your partner, because they're not going to be there when you get back. They're all unfaithful, and it's just reaffirming it and reaffirming it and reaffirming it. And then you end up with a partner who is loyal, right? Who would never cheat. And because you have so many red flags built up inside your head, you're looking for things that aren't there. Or when things do happen, that would be like, oh, they're definitely cheating. But if there's some kind of explanation for it, right? And then you have other people in your life confirming it. And so it's like, you know, you kind of have to be able to think for yourself. A great example, like on that line of example, like I've never cheated on anybody in my life, and I would never want anybody to cheat on their partner with me. Right. So much so that when I was with my ex, he had told me that him and his daughter's mother were living together for the convenience of the kids, but that they were not together, and that she was very clear on that. And they were still in a relationship on Facebook because, you know, they hadn't told the family yet, blah, blah, blah. But he wanted to be with me. Like, and so I told him, I was like, I'm not, unless I know for sure you're single, like I'm not going to do that. Right. I'm not going to be the cheatee. I'm not going to let you be a cheat. And I said, if you want to be with me, then you gotta show me some kind of proof and change your relationship status to single, so that, you know, because if she's already aware of it, then it doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna have to tell the family at some point anyway, you know? So he switched it to single. And I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Went in, because me and him were together on and off before they ever met. So obviously that I found out later was not the case, because she ended up losing her fucking shit, and I ended up telling her the fucking truth. I digress. I'm like spiraling out or whatever on a rant. But further down the road, you know, I've never cheated on anybody, and I would never even willingly be the cheatee, right? I wanted to make sure that he was absolutely single before I moved forward. I don't believe in being dishonest or even letting other people feel like they can be dishonest. I don't believe in it. Me and him end up in a relationship about a year and a half later. And I found a pair of boxers in the laundry that were not his, because I bought him all the fucking boxers he owned, and my son had just moved in. Some of y'all know because I've told the story. There was a pair of boxers in the laundry that I didn't buy him, and I knew they weren't his, and my son had just moved back in from his dad's. And so I asked my son, who was distracted. He was playing his video games, and I looked at my partner. I was like, these aren't yours, right? Like, you didn't go and buy underwear that I wasn't familiar with, right? And he was like, no. Mind you, he's been cheated on multiple times, okay? I go over to my son and I said, hey, I was like, are these yours? Like, I don't remember seeing these. And he looked at them real quick, like glanced, because he's playing his game. And he was like, no, they're not mine. And I was like, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I've got these weird fucking boxers in our apartment, in our fucking laundry, because that means only one of two things. Either someone was in our apartment or someone was downstairs in our basement where we do the laundry, but whatever. I went and kept trying to figure it out, but kind of let it go for the night. Mind you, I've never cheated. So I'm not sitting there thinking that my partner, who's been cheated on almost every fucking time, has his fucking brain spinning and he's not expressing anything, right? He was just like, no, they're not mine. And now they're not my son's either. So the next day, because I can't fucking get off of it, right? I can't get off of it. I want to know where the fuck these boxers came from. They didn't come out of thin fucking air. and the basement door was locked. Like, no one was in our apartment just to leave a pair of fucking boxers. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make fucking sense. So my son gets home from school, and I said, are you sure that you didn't end up with a pair of boxers from my partner's uncle's son? Because my son, when we go in their hot tub, like, he doesn't like swim trunks. He thinks the weird mesh in there is uncomfortable. So he doesn't ever wear swim trunks. He wears regular boxers and regular shorts in the hot tub. Well, we go for the weekend. And so my son went, something clicked, right? Because he wasn't fucking distracted. And he goes, they're his uncle's sons. Okay. He goes, I only packed 2 pairs of boxers, and I didn't plan on going in the hot tub, but they really wanted me to go in. So I didn't have enough underwear for the rest of the trip. So his uncle's son let him borrow a pair. He's like, and they ended up in my laundry. He's like, they're definitely his. So I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, now I know where they're from. Good. Didn't think twice about it. Washed them, brought them back, gave them to his uncle's sons. No problem, right? Found out what they were. But I never ended up having that conversation with my partner. Because like I said, I'm not thinking that he's thinking I'm potentially cheating. In my mind, I've never cheated on anybody, and I would absolutely never cheat on him, right? Never. That's not who I am. So he comes home from work, and we go through our regular routine, right? I get his whiskey. He starts playing his video games. He doesn't like to talk about work. To be fair, anytime I've ever talked about my day, he's completely disinterested. So I didn't bring it up. I was just glad I knew where they came from, right? Fast forward a month later, him and I have a huge blowout because of a random t-shirt, brand new, that was in the closet that I didn't buy and I didn't hang up. And he never does the laundry. And I'm asking him where the fuck this t-shirt came from. Because I'm thinking one of the girls at his work gifted it to him. And I know I wasn't fucking wrong. I know I wasn't wrong. And he goes, well, maybe the t-shirt fairy brought it. He started being a fucking smart ass. And I was like, I got pissed to the point that I actually had to separate myself. And I walked out the front door to go sit down the park around the block for a while and just cool off, because he's sociopathic and he don't shut the fuck up until you agree with him, right? He's just one of those. He'll talk for fucking hours until you're so fucking tired that you'll agree with him just to stop. And he had mentioned that his uncle, who was also cheated on multiple times, said that I was probably cheating because I brought up, where the heck did this shirt come from? He's like, well, where did those boxers come from? And I said, what do you mean where the boxers came from? They were his uncle's sons. Like, and I said, you know, I gave them back. And he was like, what? He was like, you didn't tell me that. I'm like, well, I didn't think I had to, you know, like, I'm not sitting here assuming that you would think I'm cheating on you. Like, that's not where my head went, because I'm not a cheat, right? And so, you know, he had this belief that everybody cheats. His uncle had this belief that everybody cheats. He served in the military. His wife cheated just like those military officers said she would. You know what I mean? So, like, there's this belief system about cheating. So when someone actually was in his life that has never and would never, ever do that, he found reasons to believe that I did, found reasons to justify his own cheating. I found proof of that one. So, you know, it's irrefutable truth at that. So when we're talking about hidden truth being revealed and people surviving things, right? We're talking about people surviving things, that someone who's lost their mind has the potential to come back. The whole reason for that long-winded story was to express the fact that your mind can be lost to the perceptions of other people, and you can actually regain control of your mind and say, you know what, just because every single time has been like that doesn't mean that this time is or was, right? You can have a belief system in your mind for the longest time that everybody lies, right? If we don't even talk about cheating, everybody lies sometimes. Not everybody lies. And you'd be like, no, everybody lies, even a white lie. Not everybody lies. I deal with Saturn conjunct my Mercury in Sag. And I learned at a very young age that if I choose to lie, there are consequences. They're painful. Saturn would have it. So I typically don't lie unless I absolutely understand that the loss or pain that I'm accruing because of it is for a higher purpose, which has only happened once. And it was so that I could see the mirror of my dynamic ship with someone. And so, you know, not everybody lies. Not even white lies. I'll tell people outright, before you ask me a question, make sure you want the answer because I'll give it. You know what I mean? I'll give it. And it's just one of those things. So like, you know, when we deal with life and people, and we were raised in a certain culture or around certain energy, certain vibrations, it doesn't always ring true for the rest of your life. You know, like for the longest time, I was gullible as fuck because I was honest. And so I believed that people were generally honest. I didn't realize how much people lied until I was actually out, like, in the world. And I was like, wow, like people lie about the stupidest shit. And it's kind of crazy. You know, it's like, why would you even lie? Like, why? Why not just tell the truth? People deal with so much karma, so much bullshit, lying and trying to keep up with lies. Like, why? Why? It's better to just be honest. Really, it's just better to be honest, you know? And so having to reveal the truth to the self, surviving and reclaiming your mind is the overall theme of this message, right? Where you can literally think for yourself. Because had my partner at the time gone back and was like, well, you know what? I don't know if Grace would cheat. Like, I know it seems odd, but Grace didn't even want me to cheat on my ex. You know, Grace said she's never cheated on anybody in her life. Grace doesn't keep secrets from me. You know, Grace loves me to death. Like, I don't even know when she would cheat, you know? So maybe there's got to be another reason. Had he asked me any follow-up question to that, because it obviously had been bothering him enough that he got multiple opinions from multiple people. Had he just came back and said, hey, did you ever find out where those boxers came from? Had he just asked, I would be like, oh yeah, they were your uncle's sons. We returned them. He would have been like, oh. But he never asked. Right? He continued to get the opinions of other people, and they continued to confirm a fear that was completely unfounded. And we ended up splitting. Because I realized he didn't know me. If he thought that I would legit cheat on him, then he didn't know me. And I was like, how could I be in a relationship with someone that doesn't even fucking know me? After 4.5, 5 years, he does not know me. Okay. I had to let that go. Like, if you're going to believe other people and you no longer trust me as your partner, then we don't have a future, you know? Then we don't. How can you be with someone you don't trust? How can you be with someone forever as your partner throughout this life and plan life with someone that you don't actually trust? That sounds like torture to me. That sounds like torture. Fucking torture. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know a couple, but they're rare. They're rare, Landon, they're rare. But it is so simple. You know, I figure, you know, and I don't believe in coincidences. So when they're saying it's like the truth sets you free, and that's like unknown, like worldwide accepted, you know, thing, like the truth sets you free. It's a saying that's widely accepted. It's the truth. Anything in misalignment with you, when you tell it the truth, will reject it. It will reject the truth. which means it's not in alignment with you, because the truth is as high vibrational energy as it gets. If you are in alignment with the truth and don't fear the truth. So if someone is rejecting the truth, they're not in your highest good. They have healing to do, right? Then maybe they'll catch up later. Maybe they'll catch up in another life. Like if I were to ever, like even when I had mentioned prior that I was guided to lie in order to be inside of a mirror with somebody, that I was being guided to lie. The fact of the matter is, if anybody ever asked me the truth, I would tell it. All you have to do is ask. I will absolutely tell the truth. If that person was in that room with me and goes, I don't believe you, that's not the truth, what's the truth? I would have probably smiled like, good, you're discerning. This is the truth, you know what I mean? But people don't even trust themselves, right? People lie to themselves all the time. And so, you know, on occasion, Spirit has had me lie. And it's just like, it's not something I want to do. I'm in somebody's mirror. I'm learning and understanding the mirror. And I'm like, okay. But if anybody asks me, Spirit, like, you know, I'm going to tell the truth. Like, Spirit's like, I know you will. I know you will. I love the truth. I blurt out the truth all the fucking time. You know what I mean? But I can't help the fact that I'm in people's mirrors, right? I'm in my everyday mirror with people. And unfortunately, people lie to themselves and they end up in situations with people where they have to discern. Like the gentleman that I was having this discussion with, and given it wasn't a lie about anything completely important, but he knew better. Intuitively, I knew he knew better. He's a Cancer and a Pisces moon, okay? He's intuitive shit. Doesn't trust his intuition, though, at all. He can sense things, but he should have called me on the bullshit. And I literally would have laughed like, yeah, it is. It's total bullshit. You know? But he didn't. I was like, all right. So I knew who was in my mirror, right? I knew where their energy was. And because of the events that transpired afterwards, because like I said, whenever I lie, there's a consequence. It doesn't feel good. I accepted that this was going to unfold, right? Certain events transpired that didn't feel good, but I understood him crystal clear by the time it was all done. I understood the mirror 100%. And I thanked Spirit because nothing was truly lost. It was uncomfortable, but I already knew because I understand my pattern, right? I understand my chart and I understand, you know, the mirror of things. So given, I probably will end up telling him the truth at some point as divinely guided. I've already told Spirit because I don't actually like to leave things where lies are not clarified, you know, where they're not told or exposed, right? I don't believe in leaving something a lie. So divine time, I'm sure it will come about in conversation. But yeah, so the truth being, when things are revealed in truth, it really does always set us free on the journey. It keeps us in alignment with what is meant for us, no matter what that is, right? And we can't be afraid of it. We can't be afraid of what the truth will do when it comes out, or who we'd lose, because if you'd lose them, why would you want to keep someone who's just a roadblock in your divine destiny anyway? I mean, what's more important, to be fair? You know, what is more important? So if you're dealing with that as of late, maybe you're dealing with someone who is toxic and is happy about it, right? Our little toxic cloud charm. Maybe you're dealing with someone who is toxic and they know it. Maybe they know they're lying and they don't care, right? And they're happily bullshitting all the way, right? Lie on top of lie, and you can't say shit because without proof, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to keep calling them a liar? You sound crazy with no proof. Right? But I think there's some kind of proof. There's some kind of epiphany, some kind of proof, something that is going to expose whatever is hidden. right? Now, the other three cards, we've got the sickness in reverse, the betrayal in reverse, and then the mute hag in the middle. So when they come out reverse, it's misaligned, right? There's an upright and a reverse meaning to the card. Neutral is always neutral, but lawful switches to chaotic and vice versa, and good switches to evil and vice versa. So in the upright, this card is neutral, evil, which in reverse makes it neutral, good. Okay. In the upright, it represents plague, pestilence, famine, and dis-ease. It can indicate corruption of the soul or a multitude of souls. If misaligned, the sickness represents either great health or a chance to stop such disaster. Okay, so whatever the sickness or the corruption within the soul was, this represents the opportunity to heal it and or avoid disaster. It's Harrow. By the Pathfinder Chronicles, because I'm a Dungeons and Dragons fan. I am. All right, so the sickness in reverse represents the ability or potential to heal a corrupted soul. Okay. The mute hag. The mute hag is upright. She is a neutral, evil aligned card. It says the mute hag might be silent, but the eye she holds lets her see into the hearts of men. This hag invokes blood pacts and poisonous secrets, the kind that turn brother against brother and son against father. It is a card that performers loathe as it leaves them stumbling over their words. Okay. So the mute hag is someone who holds secrets, toxic secrets, right? Harmful secrets that could literally turn people that love each other against each other. Okay. She sees things. And she doesn't speak on them. But if she did, right? But if she did. And it's that kind of energy that typically, it's the kind of secrets that typically only come out in the event of personal gain. Okay. Evil aligned cards don't have anything to do with the greater good of all, but what is in the greatest good of empowerment or gain for the individual, especially at the cost of someone else, right? So we've got someone here who is holding big secrets. This is kind of like blackmail. Okay. Mute hag is kind of like blackmail. It could even be like, let's just say if we were, and then it could be anything, right? I'm just going to make an example. Let's just say if someone was cheating, right, in a relationship, the mute hag would be the person that knows they're cheating and isn't saying anything. Right? That would be the mute hag. The person who knows they're cheating, or the cheatee, right? Or who knows that a couple is cheating, like a third party who knows that two other people are cheating on someone else, right? But doesn't say anything until it benefits them and it could hurt a lot of people, right? Harrow. Harrow, Landon. I got mine on eBay. I got one of the original decks because there's 2 different versions, and the difference is coloration and card size. The cards are slightly bigger in the second version, and the colors are a little bit brighter, but I'm a stick for originals and went a little out of my way to get the original Pathfinder Harrow cards. The last one is the Betrayal, and this also came up in the reverse. So the Betrayal in the upright is neutral evil and is selfishness incarnate. Envy twists the spirit and leads ultimately to devastation. It can also indicate a person whose loveliness hides an evil heart. Misaligned, the card means self-sacrifice or turning away from the material world and its temptation. Okay. So this is misaligned. It is in reverse, so it becomes neutral good instead of neutral evil. And it does mean self-sacrifice or turning away from the material world and its temptations. So if someone was of that mindset, right, we're talking about belief systems and freeing the mind. You can kind of even pair it to the Matrix, right? Like we think that the whole world matters. It has to run a certain way. We have a certain job. We have to make a certain amount of money. We have to take care of certain people. We have to provide a certain life and do certain things, right? And then all of a sudden realizing none of that shit matters. None of this shit matters. You know, like when I was with my partner, I had an apartment. I had all kinds of stuff in there. I loved family that was attached to it all. And at the end of the day, it was like, I don't even want to be a part of this, right? I had quit my corporate job to do tarot readings for donations on Facebook. I went and quit my corporate job. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I trusted spirit and started reading cards. It was the right choice for me, you know? But it's like one of those moments where you're like, none of this matters. Like none of this matters. You know, I had all of these thoughts in my mind. Well, I'm a shitty person if I don't do this. And I'm a lazy person if I don't do that. Or I'm a this person if I don't do that. And it's like, I would rather live in my car and travel around and work for myself than work for someone else. Right? I just popped right out of that mold. I mean, given I have another regular job now, my day job now, but I'm also taking care of my son and paying for an apartment. But at some point, I know that the timeline is going to shift and I'm going to be on the divine move, if you would, right? That's going to eventually happen. So, you know, we have 3 different energies here. One of a wonderful healing, right? A wonderful healing where a corrupt soul can actually find themselves, right? Where there is this healing energy back to the self with another person, right? These 2 individuals are both here. They were once in misaligned evil energy, now good energy. And what's between them is the secret. What's between them is the hag. That's the problem. Right? That's the problem. There's these 2 energies that are coming out of their shadow and healing. And the energy between them is the secret. The secret that could tear people apart. Right? So let's get some more insight into that. I've got my hand-drawn cards. These cards are, I literally bought like blank cards and just started drawing on them with Sharpie. And I've slowly been adding random cards to the deck. So we're going to see, I'm going to clarify these 3 cards down here just to get a little more insight into them. Clarify the sickness, please. The reversed sickness card. The person who is healing and coming out of a corrupt state. Yeah, It came out with the dawn. It came out with the dawn. So this person is coming out of their dark night. This person is most definitely coming out of their dark night. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's clarify the mute hag. Clarify the mute hag, spirit wheel. Of course, we got the star in reverse, dead in reverse. All right, so this person is the anti-healing, right? This is the energy that inflicts the wounds, right? Or reopens the wounds. Instead of healing the wounds, it reopens them, okay? Which is wildly unfortunate, right? Because let's just say someone was starting to heal, you know, around the idea of loyalty and infidelity. They were starting to heal their concept, and that person would expose something to reaffirm the negative, right? So to speak. Clarify the betrayal in reverse, please. The book. The Akashic records, right? That's what the book is. This is writing our own story, right? The book is about writing our own story, that we are the creator. You know, so this person, if they are leaving behind everything they thought they knew, right? Everything they thought they knew that was betraying their highest self, they are very much becoming aware of the fact that they are the creator. They are the creator of their story, right? They're turning away from whatever material world life they had, the temptation to stay in it, and self-sacrifice, which to me is sacrificing the old self, right? In order to elevate, in order to grow and evolve, in order to receive better experience, you have to be in better energy. And being in better energy consistently means letting go of the old version of yourself that was misaligned and low energy, right? That you would allow yourself to heal. I'm playing with my tea light for a second here. I made this thing, and it literally was from the dollar store, right? It was a little tea light holder. And it has like a little triangle. I'm going to try not to spill the wax. It has like a little triangle base, and this goes on top. And I used a T-ball. I used a T-ball and broke it in half, and then fixed it with some copper wire so that it floats like right above the candle, the tea light. And now I just take like little crushed up sage. It's like my favorite fucking thing. Instead of like burning a whole sage stick, I just put little pinches at a time in my little loose incense burner, I guess. And it does. You'll see the smoke will start doing its thing. It just starts to smoke. It doesn't light on fire because I don't actually have it in the flame. But yeah. I love it. It's my favorite thing. Bottom of the deck is the forge. Top of the deck is the fish. And the fish is all about diving deep for treasure, right? That we would go all the way to the bottom to find the beautiful treasure at the bottom. And I think that's cool because we did get our little treasure chest charm, right? Our little love chest there. So definitely diving deep, right, into the self and reforging. Right? Reforging. It's melting down. Oh, I love it. The crown is under that. It's melting down the old self and crowning the new self. Right? That's what this is. So Spirit, I am going to pull the energy alignment cards. This is a deck of my own creation. I only got one left in my Etsy shop. Okay. It's a super simple deck, where it has like different chakra colors and stuff on one side and then shadows on the other. And they're super simple descriptions for the energies that people hold. It's an energy alignment. So it helps you see where people are in layman's terms, whether they're in their light or their shadow. And then, of course, the reverse would be how to either get in the positive energy or fall out of it, right? So let's see. And they're waterproof, which is really cool. So you can actually spill shit on them and they won't get ruined. Let's see. Spirit, let's get some insight into the energy of the person who is letting go of the sickness with the dawn. Ooh, we got perceptive. Okay, this is a third eye chakra card. So this person is working on their third eye sight, right? Where they could start to see through things. They're working on their discernment. Before they were the bleeding heart or the blind empath. And now they're seeing something for the reality that it is. Right? The blind empath doesn't take people at face value. They think they can heal someone else. They're doing their damnedest to heal someone else and seeing the potential, right? They're seeing the potential of someone, but it's not the reality. And sometimes empaths will stay in toxic situations with low energy for the longest time, like beyond its expiration date, trying to bring the dead horse back to life, right? And so they're starting to see someone for who they really are. It came out sideways. So I feel like they're starting to see someone for who they really are, right? And that's why they're in this dawn energy. That's why they're letting go of the sickness, which is, you know, the corruption in the soul, where they feel the need to heal wounded people. And they probably had toxic parents that they wish they could heal as a kid, or they were constantly being the comfort person to their toxic parents. And they learned empathy at a very young age, right? And they're starting to recognize the truth in things that not everybody has empathy either, right? Because we were talking about that earlier. Being naive and thinking everybody in the world is like us, right? I wasn't a liar as a kid, and I didn't think people lied, so I was gullible, you know. But now I'm aware of the fact that there are liars, you know what I mean, and a lot of them. So I think this person is starting to realize that not everybody is like them, right? And this person might not be empathic, and this person might not really care, and this person might not be someone that they can, quote unquote, heal. Maybe this person has to choose it for themselves, right? They're starting to wake up. Clarify the energy of the mute hag. Clarify the energy of the mute hag. Where's the mute hag at? What's their energy with the star in the reverse? Okay, we got a few here. Angry and volatile, unjust, radical extremes, detached and aloof, idealistic, and loving or lovable in the reverse. Detached and aloof was technically also in reverse. So these are the cards, the way they came out. Let me show you. Okay. So the mute hag with the star in reverse. Detached and aloof. The shadow being in reverse means they're working on the light of the other side, which would be responsiveness. Okay. Loving and lovable being in the reverse means they're declining into the other side, which is depression and self-loathing. Okay. So when we're talking about the mute hag here, being angry and volatile and prone to unjust, radical extremes, this person is starting to respond or communicate, right? It's a throat chakra card. The ideal inside their mind's eye, right? What is ideal for them? We were talking about how this energy is self-motivated, right? willing to hurt other people for their own gain. They're an opportunist, a shadow opportunist. And they're slipping into this depressed and self-loathing state, which really puts them in this vibration of apathy. The mute hag, and it might be what the hidden truth is, okay? The mute hag might start letting out a secret, okay? The mute hag might be letting out a secret, or preparing to use a truth against someone, right? Now, the only way to combat that would be to take a deep breath and expose the truth yourself before someone else does, right? Like, let's just say someone knows that you and your partner are cheating, right? We'll stick with the example that I've been using. Someone knows your partner has been cheating on you. The best thing you could do, if you know someone else knows and is getting a little edgy, like they might just fucking say something, the best thing you could do is expose the truth yourself. To have that talk with your partner and say, listen, me and you need to talk. And have the hard conversation, right? Because if you don't have the hard conversation and put yourself in that position of healing, right, then you risk someone else being the one that tells, and it makes it 10 times worse. Because if you're going to deal with the truth coming out eventually anyway, which is always the case, right? It's always the case. The truth is going to come out anyway, then you might as well let it be from you and not from someone else, right? You might as well let it be from you and not from someone else. Like how I had found out my ex was cheating on me. I had gone to my women's visit like annually for like birth control and stuff, and ended up not being as clean and clear as I thought I was. I had nothing at all when me and him had gotten into our relationship, and halfway through I ended up with HPV, which doesn't have symptoms or anything like that. But I went from having nothing to having something. That's fun. That's always fun. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to understand, you know, because I gave him multiple chances to come clean about it, like multiple chances to just be honest with me. But the fact of the matter is he didn't, you know, and so I had to find out a different way. And it's harder to come back from that. You know, when people double down in lies, triple down in lies, quadruple down in lies, and think that they could just have poor choices and behave in poor manner, dishonorable and cowardly manner, and think that that's going to fly and slide, you know, because if you're going to cheat and lie, well, where is the honor in that? If you can't tell the truth and you're afraid, well, you gotta find your courage and step out of the coward energy. You know, why fear the truth? Why fear the truth? You know, the truth sets you free. So the mute hag is on the verge of probably releasing some kind of truth. Okay. Yeah. They're probably on the verge of releasing some kind of truth. Let's see then where the betrayal with the book is. Clarify their energies for me, please, Spirit. And then we're going to dig into the tarot. We're going to get nosy. Let's see. The betrayal reversed. Fuck yeah. We've got authentic and loyal, both in the upright. This is where this person is coming into their alignment. Okay. This person is letting everything go that they were taught and living their own authentic life. They're being loyal to their own heart. This is the green heart chakra energy, not the pink. So this is to self. Green is the heart chakra of the self, where pink heart chakra is more harmony in our connections with other people. So this person is being loyal to their authenticity. That's exactly what this person's doing. You know, they're coming back from a rather toxic state, right? All of these cards were neutral evil. two of them flipped, right, to neutral good. And I feel like whoever this energy is, or whatever this energy is, that they're really coming into their best alignment, because it doesn't really get much better than that. They are literally sacrificing their old self, the taught self, right, the wounded self, and moving into who they were always meant to be, right, thinking and feeling for themselves. So cool. Let's get into the tarot. Let's get into the tarot. Let's see what is actually going on with these three. I've got three different decks out here. I've got the Elemental Wisdom Tarot, the Wizards Tarot, and then the Patch Tarot. Okay. So we're going to start with the Elemental Wisdom. Insight into the person that's healing with this dawn energy. The person who is literally undoing corruption, right? They're undoing corrupt energy. They're healing. They're avoiding some kind of disaster that would have ensued being in misaligned energy, right? It's kind of like they're them and the betrayal. The two end cards, person energy 1 and person energy 3, are really coming into alignment. So let's see what is going on with this person number 1 with the dawn. Yeah, 7 of Swords reversed. I love it. There's this truth. That is the exposure of the truth. Queen of Wands. Got the 4 of Coins, 7 of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Wands clarified by the Page of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Yo, the clarity changes fate for this person. And the Judgment card. They're going to get what they desire. They're going to get it. Their feminine energy, their yin, is manifesting something. And I feel like they're going to get it. The truth is literally going to set them free with the 7 of Swords reversed, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. What they're holding on to with the 4 of Coins is their reinvention. They're holding on to their rebirth, right? It's like they've gone through a major purging. And they have. They're not in that corrupt energy anymore, right? They're coming out of it. They're coming out of that sleep state, right? That wounded state. Bottom of the deck is the 7 of Wands. Yeah, they're defending themselves. 8 of Coins on top. I don't even feel like they have to put in any work for this, to be fair. But there's the Forge. Look at that 8 of Coins. That's the Forge back there. And I had the Forge on the bottom of the deck, right? Where the crown was underneath of that. Remember we had those 2 cards? This person is literally forging their crown. Forging their crown. And I love it. I love it. Whatever's happening for this person, whatever clarity is coming through, it's changing fate for them. It's changing fate for them. I feel like they're dodging what would have otherwise been quite literally a catastrophe, right? They're literally dodging something. So then what insight, Spirit, to the hag, right? Because if the truth is coming out and helping the first person, where does the mute hag stand with it? What is going on? Or insight into what they're holding. What do we need to know about the mute hag? The 4 of Pentacles out twice now. Only this one, the door has chains on it. the star card out twice now with the mute hag, right? Because my star card in the hand-drawn deck came out in reverse. We've got it here too. Got the star card from this deck here. Can't make this shit up. And the Hermit card. With the King of Swords. Yeah, the truth is holding. The truth being locked up is what's literally holding the door shut. Nine of Pentacles on bottom. So we got two single cards and the Emperor on top. I've got a lot of witches in this deck, which might be why the witch charm came out. It may be someone who identifies as a witch in this life. To be fair, it could be someone who was one in a past life and they know it. They understand that words aren't just magic, they're power, right? Knowledge is power. Double nines. This person is single, okay? And or someone, if they're in a relationship, who still acts as if they're single. But I do feel like this is someone who's single. They're in their Emperor energy. King of Swords energy. They're highly strategic. Highly strategic. Very controlling. I mean, you would have to be in that kind of energy. And I feel like they play the compassion card. Like when they're in their dark energy and they're using it to their advantage, right? They're using secrets and lies to their advantage, their own personal gain. I feel like the card they play is, well, I had to tell you. Like, of course I had to tell you. I couldn't hold it in anymore. That's awful. I just felt like an awful person. You needed to know. Right? They're coming off playing this compassion card. This I feel so sorry for you card. But really, the only reason why they're telling you now and didn't tell you sooner is because it didn't benefit them to tell you sooner. It benefits them in some way to tell you now. Kind of like the best friend, right? Your best friend who knows your man is cheating on you with some other bitch, but doesn't tell you until you're on the verge of breaking up with them anyway. And then they're the one that tell you, like, yeah, your man is cheating. And then all of a sudden they're fucking around with your man after y'all break up. You know, like it's kind of fucked up, right? It's kind of fucked up. Or the best friend who, you know, talks to your partner about all their problems, right? The best friend that talks to your partner about all the problems going on and keeps giving them advice on how to fix it incorrectly, only for y'all to break up. And then, you know, they're not just a friend anymore. You know, that person. But yeah, they come off like they care. That's the thing. They come off like they care. And they don't care. They're benefiting from it in some way. Okay. That's the card they play. They take their time. They go looking for the dirt, right? The Hermit card is the seeker in the dark. And the Knight of Pentacles, they take their time. They take their time. They go digging. They go digging. And to be fair, that's Virgo energy. And we had the Virgo stuff come out on the dice. So did Mars. And that's the Emperor, right? We've got the Wheel of Fortune out here. And that's Sag in the 9th house. What's going on with the third person? What's going on with this other person? Or energy. It doesn't have to be a person. It could just be an energy. It could be a realization, right? Because we're talking about the hidden truth being a realization. And realizing that there's a person holding toxic secrets. The fact of the matter is they're just holding secrets. They didn't necessarily commit the wrong. They're just holding the secret. So even if they would get to a low level and expose it, ultimately it's going to set you free. They're a loyal soul on an authentic path that is helping you in some which way, shape, or form propel you forward on your own. Even if their job is dirty, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be an energy. Clarity into the reversed betrayal with the book. Yeah, I've got the High Priestess, the Strength card, the Four of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Death card. Give me one more. Okay, two more. We've got the Empress, lots of major arcana, and the Queen of Discs. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Discs. Top is the Six of Swords, which in this deck is Ascension. Literally says Ascension on the top of the card. The upright. Hey, Rita, welcome back. Come on, camera, focus. Yeah, it says Ascension up there. So the third energy, we got the Four of Discs, or the Four of Pentacles in every single one. What is this card? The Ace of Discs is also sitting out here. This person. They already know. They've been through a lot. Okay. It actually reminds me of the energy of the sickness person, because that person's healing, right? They've been through a lot, right? Rita, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to. Lennon's all right. Thank you for looking out though. I'm sure if there was something you didn't like in there, I understand. Yeah, I feel like with these cards, the energy is about knowing that you can endure it, right? That you would be able to continue, that you would be able to elevate, that you would be able to get through whatever difficulty transpires when whatever truth it is exposed. It's about strength through the transition, right? Because we have the Strength card with the Death card, right? Strength through the transition. It's about being passionate about the transition, right? And then we have the Four of Swords, which is the rest. It's the respite. It's the reprieve. And nurturing the self. We've got the Empress with the Queen of Discs. That's nurturance and supportiveness with formation. When we take time to separate the self from other energies and really get in touch with our own nature and go with the flow, because the Queen of Discs, you can see the river there, right, is kind of just weaving through the landscape. listening to that moon energy. We've got this Empress with the moon in the background, right? The night sky back there. And then, of course, we have the High Priestess, which is known for that kind of energy. And I feel like whatever is moving forward, it's someone who's stable. It's someone whose ascension is stabilizing, literally. And they're perceptive. Oh my God. So underneath of that, right, we've got the Queen of Swords with that person. And the top corner in the upright, the card says perceptive, right? That's the Queen of Swords. That was the only energy alignment card that came out for the first person. It's perceptive, right? Word synchronicities. That was the first person, the Sickness Reverse, that came out with the Dawn. So to be fair, let's just say this is all the same person. Let's just say it's all the same person. What if these aren't multiple different people? What if one person is coming out of their dark night, realizing they're keeping a secret, knowing that they could gain whatever from it? Maybe they know if they expose it, it would hurt them in some way, right? If it's the same person, maybe exposing it would hurt them in some way. Maybe the freedom, right? The truth sets you free. Maybe the freedom is what is being gained, unbeknownst to them, because they're working on being perceptive. And they end up on this very authentic and loyal path, right? Something authentic to them. A solid new foundation. An abundant one at that, because we got a lot of pentacles that came out. We got a lot of pentacles that came out. Triple fours too, because the Death card is 13. That's 4. 4 of Swords and 4 of Pentacles. We got 4, 4, 4. Yeah, that four of Pentacles came out in every reading. Every reading. And I think, if you're ever afraid of your reality and like instability in the reality, like, well, if I leave this person, I'm going to lose this. Or if I tell this person the truth about this, they're going to hate me, or I'm going to lose this, right? About the reality. I'll tell you a story, okay? Because we're at the end anyway. So I'm going to tell you a story, and it's going to make sense. When I was with my counterpart, when we had first started dating, we weren't official yet. This was before he met his baby mama, before all of the extra transpired, right? Him and I met, and we were working at the same company. And no sooner than we clicked, and it was like a crazy electric click, he ended up getting transferred. He ended up getting transferred out of our office to an office that was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours away. And he had vouched for a friend of his at the company to take his position. Put his name out there, right? Vouched for this guy. And the guy got it. And they were close friends. And that man was married. And his wife had just gotten pregnant with a miracle baby. She didn't think she could have kids, right? And me and my counterpart, he started doing the breadcrumbing, right? I didn't understand what a narcissist was at the time, but it was like really high speed, boom, electric at the beginning. And then all of a sudden he was going ghost, right? It was like the weird flip, and I didn't understand. But anyway, I was talking to his friend about it because him and I obviously still work together. Now his friend was my boss, right? And we used to talk a lot. He would talk to me about his partner. I would talk to him about what I was going through with mine. And I ended up getting a promotion. He promoted me. And I was a team lead now. So at the end of one of our shifts in the office, he tells everybody to wrap it up so we can go home. But he asked me if I'll stay a little late. And as he said it in front of everybody, he was like, can you stay a little late? I want to go over routes with you for tomorrow. I was like, all right. You know, didn't think anything of it. I had just gotten the promotion. He's going over routes with me because I'm training people in the field now. And I sat down in the office and he walked in and he locked the door. And I was like, why would he lock the door? I was in complete shock. This is my boss. Married man, he's my boss. And he asked me, because my ex, right, the person that I was obviously dealing with, his friend, right, was so foolish. You know, if he were just 10 years younger, he wouldn't be making the mistakes that, you know, so-and-so is making. He sees my beauty. He sees my value. He sees all this. If he wasn't married and he's saying all these things. And now I'm getting wildly uncomfortable. I've never been in a position quite like this one. I've been in uncomfortable ones, but not quite like this one. And so I'm kind of like oddly smiling, but obviously uncomfortable because I don't know what to do, right? I legit just did not know what the fuck to do in this situation. I just got promoted. This is my job. I got to pay rent. You know what I mean? Like I have a million things racing through my head. And he asked me if he could jerk off to me in the office. And he did. I didn't really have an option. And he did. He literally jerked off to me in the office. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted me to watch him. Okay. And I played it all the way to my car. I played along like I wasn't bothered. It was fine, like all the way to my fucking car. And as soon as I got into my car, I busted out fucking crying and was in panic mode, like full blown fucking panic mode, and did not know what the fuck to do. Did not know what the fuck to do. I didn't want to go to HR because if I went to HR, I mean, the person that I was madly in love with, even though it was rough, he was the love of my life, right? My twin flame, blah, blah, blah. I was madly in love with him. I didn't want the man that he put his name on to get that position. I didn't want it to fall back on him. My counterpart loved his job and his career more than anything. He's a work man. And I didn't want to go to HR and tell them what happened because that would reflect so horribly on the person that I was in love with. Not to mention this guy was married. His wife was pregnant. You know what I mean? Like I ended up quitting. I quit 3 days later. And I didn't want to tell my counterpart, who was furious that I quit. Furious. Because he recommended me for the promotion that I got. But I quit. And I didn't actually tell him the truth about why I quit. I just told him I wanted to read full time. I told him I didn't like, you know, being on my feet doing door-to-door sales. It just wasn't for me. And, you know, that wasn't a lie, but it wasn't the reason that I quit. And he was furious. And I didn't tell him the truth until about 1.5 years later. I had reached out to him out of the blue because once I had left the job, like him and I completely stopped talking. Like he was that kind of pissed. He had a vision for me that he wanted me to move up in the company. He wanted me to be a successful female. You know what I mean? Like in the business, he wanted to see me fly. And I quit. So he took that personal, you know. Didn't tell him for 1.5 years. And at that point, he had already met the woman who ended up becoming his daughter's mother. And she was already pregnant by the time I told him the truth. I didn't know. And he had called me drunk from Texas. He was at a manager meeting or something out in Texas, and he called me drunk, and he was just bawling his eyes out like, I wish you told me. I wish you told me. Like, he was just like, it would have changed everything. Like, I should have protected you. Like, he was in a place. And maybe in hindsight I should have told him. I didn't want him to get hurt by something that he could not have foreseen. I didn't want it to affect his career. I didn't want it to, he still had to work with this man every day. They were on conference calls every day together, like within the region and stuff. Like, they had to still interact. Like, I didn't want to upset his work. So I just quit. And he didn't know the truth, you know. Things might have been different had I been honest with him. You know, things might have been different had I been honest. And you don't get to go back and change things in the past, nor are the things in the past meant to be changed. Had things had not transpired the way that they did, I would not truly understand who I am now. I would not be here doing what I'm doing and talking to people and reaching people the way that I do. You know, there's no mistakes. And I don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets. But had the truth been out sooner, you know, because I suffered. You know what I mean? When I told you guys, when I don't tell the truth, and given, omissions are no better than lying. Okay? Omissions are just as bad. When I lost and left my corporate job and decided to do readings full time and trusted spirit, like, this doesn't feel good. Being at the job doesn't feel good. I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to do readings all the time. Like, now I had a shining bright reason to leave, you know. It was hard. There were months where I literally only made like $3 in donations, you know, and I was going through a whole journey of self-discovery. And, you know, fast forward 6 years later, I've got a channel of my own, and I've got a couple thousand awesome subscribers. I've got over 11,000 followers now on my Facebook page. You know, it's awesome. You know, I get to reach people every day, and still doing the mirror work, you know, and learning things and reporting back here promptly. Always forever reporting back here promptly. But the truth was so important. You know, the truth was so important. And maybe even if it's hard, even if the outcome is not great, it might be necessary. And I think that's the lesson. You know, I think that's the lesson. Because the truth, right? After I had mentioned earlier in this live where I insisted, right, knowing that my counterpart was single before I was intimate with him or anything with him, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be the cheatee. Like, I have to know, like, you're single before I sleep with you, right? Because I was so adamant. I refused, right? There was a point when I realized that he was possibly playing me because, you know, after everything happened, he went ghost again for a couple weeks and then said he was trying to work things out with her. And I'm like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, you just told me that you loved me. Like, it was complete whatever. And I was like, he keeps telling me she's crazy. She's crazy. She's crazy. And I'm like, well, what if he's telling her the same? What if they really were together? Like, I started thinking about it. Like, what if they really were together? You know, and he's just telling me that they weren't. Like, what if? And I told her the truth. I told her the truth. I was like, girl code. Because if she really didn't fucking know, then she needs to know he's cheating. And I got to recognize the fact that he's a fucking liar. Like, he's not who I think he is. You know what I mean? Maybe he's a fucking cheat. And I don't believe in it, you know? So I told her the truth. And she didn't believe me, which was the craziest thing. She goes, what proof do you have? I said, I don't understand. I don't have any proof. Because he was always real particular about his word choices. And sometimes he didn't call me from his regular phone. He would call me from his work phone. So it wouldn't show up in his call logs. He was who he was. And I was unfortunately more ignorant then than I am now. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if someone tells you the truth and they reject it, right, it's misalignment. It's misalignment. So I pray for her. I still pray for her. Because I told her the truth a second time. I told her the truth a second time after me and him split, because I still wanted to be a part of the kids' lives. I still wanted to send them birthday gifts and Christmas gifts because I still loved them all. I had told her the real reason why him and I broke up. And she's like, well, you know, once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, she knows. She took him back, too. Once a cheater, always a cheater, she said. She still took him back. It makes you wonder why. I digress. The truth, right? The truth about things. I think when people know the truth, it really does set them free. And so I promote it all the time. And people who reject the truth or use the truth to their advantage in some way at the expense of other people. Because I wasn't trying to hurt my counterpart when I told her the truth. I was doing what I would have wanted anybody else to do for me. You know, like, if my partner were cheating on me and he was telling somebody else that he was cheating on me with it, I was crazy, and I wasn't, you know, and I would want to know the truth. You know, like golden rule, I would want to know the truth. And if him being hurt was the consequence of my actions, well, then he probably shouldn't have cheated to begin with. He should have been honest to begin with. He would have avoided a lot of pain. You know, he would have avoided a lot of pain. It would have avoided her feeling a lot of pain, you know. The truth, even though it is kind of like ripping off a Band-Aid and it's uncomfortable at first, if you don't treat the wound underneath and you just cover it up, sometimes it festers. The infection gets worse, you know, it spreads, it becomes rotten energy, requires more intensive healing the more further along it gets. And so sometimes it's just kind of easier, even if it's a little uncomfortable or a lot uncomfortable, to kind of rip the Band-Aid off, take a look at the wound for what it is, and address it properly. The truth is the best balm. It's the most amazing healing balm you could put on any wound, is the truth. The truth about how things happen, the truth about how you feel, the truth about how you perceive things, and then be open to the response. Right? And let the truth speak for itself. There's not a single event that I know of where a lie did not come out and the truth was what it was. Hell, all the quote-unquote lies that I told in the mirror, they've all been exposed on this channel at some point. I've talked about it openly on this channel. It's not like it's completely hidden. If any one of them tuned into my channel, they would know it. Even the people that I was talking to about earlier, right? The Cancer, Sun, Pisces, Moon person who's intuitive and shoulda, coulda, woulda known the truth, right? I've talked about the truth openly on this channel, and he knows my channel. It's not completely hidden. If he tuned in, he got the truth, you know? Because I look at it this way. If I can't tell the truth when someone prompts me for it, then I shouldn't have told it or shouldn't have done it. If I really feel like I can't tell the truth, then I should have never said it. So if I can't even talk about it openly here, if I can't talk about it to my son, well, then I shouldn't have told it. I shouldn't have said what I said. Right? You have to be able to tell it when prompted. If you would feel the need to continue to lie or continue to omit, then you should not have done it. I hold no secret permanently. None. None. Sometimes I tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and people look at me like, you know, that's a that's a fault, right? Like, you're honest to a fault. And I'm like, no. No. It's honest beyond fault. Because I trust the truth. I trust the truth guides me wherever it needs me to go. And I highly recommend it to anyone. Being in alignment with the truth. It really will set you free. I couldn't be more happier than I am in my life right now. You know? And I've been telling the truth the whole way. Not afraid to tell the truth the whole way. You know? If people want to align with the truth, they'll align with it. They'll hear it. If people don't want to align with the truth, they will not tune in. Literally or metaphorically speaking, they'll reject the truth. Right? They'll reject the truth. The truth is out there. The truth is always out there. There's always some kind of proof. Always. It doesn't matter how smart or how clever or how manipulative or anything that you are. Hey, Meta, how are you? Happy New Year. And it's the truth. You know, it's the truth. The truth is always out there. So I think I'm going to pull a guidance card real quick. I know we're just over 2 hours in, but for those of you who want it, I think I'm going to pull a guidance card. We're going to do the Crystal Mandala Oracle. Okay. See how Spirit wants to chime in. What other guidance it would like to add. I always want guidance too. Spirit blesses me all the time. I re-listen to all this stuff. I pick up things in my own mirror that I might have missed otherwise, like plays on words and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, Spirit, you brilliant motherfucker. Like, I fucking love you. Thank you, Spirit, all the fucking time. All the time. Spirit, please, what would you like to add? What would you like to add? Sacred ecosystem. Ascended Master 𝘗𝘗𝘓𝘗 and the crystal moss agate. Card number 26. Says, we bring you the blessing of this sacred ecosystem. This is a gift of conscious connection, supportive relationship, and magnetism, which attracts you to the souls in need of your light. Where you may have felt as though you were not in the right place, this blessing shall now rectify that. You are meant to belong and contribute freely to your soul community. You are destined to feel as though you have found your way home and can attract and be attracted to those that can support you and benefit from your support too. As long as you let go of past rejection, of the belief you have to accomplish your divine life mission on your own, or fight to have your place in the world, you will allow the power of the sacred ecosystem to transform your life. Your life purpose shall flourish, and your experience of conscious connection with the world around you will heal your heart and soothe your soul. There is an exquisite intelligence to divine design, a way for every aspect of every being to be made to serve the great plan of love. There is a story of a cracked pot, which was used to carry water from the fountain to the master's table. Because of the crack, it leaked water along the pathway, arriving at the master's house only partially full, while another pot without a crack was able to hold its full complement of water for the household. The cracked pot wondered if it was not a good enough pot. One day, the water carrier felt compassion for the cracked pot and asked why it seemed sad. When the water carrier realized the pot felt that its flaws were bad, especially compared to the undamaged, perfect pot, he asked the cracked pot to look down at the path where it leaked water each day. "What do you see?" the water carrier of the cracked pot asked. "Well, I see flowers," said the cracked pot. "Yes, that's right. Those flowers have sprouted along the path because you have been watering them. Each day they become an offering of beauty and grace upon the master's table." And the cracked pot felt very happy to hear this and realized that what it thought was imperfection was actually just a beautiful way to serve. This story teaches us something of the sacred ecosystem. And the sacred ecosystem, everything that is, even the things we might initially write off as unwanted or shameful, serves the greater good. When we simply are who we are, the ecosystem thrives. It doesn't always make sense, but it's true. This is why you never need to judge yourself or another. The divine is ingenious in its creative design of all beings, including you. All things serve. Could light be more beautiful or desired than when it is yearned for to break through the dark night? All things have a sacred purpose. So if you have felt ostracized, abandoned, rejected, or criticized by a system in which you have tried to serve, take heart. When this oracle card comes to you, you're being notified that the universe is assisting you in finding your rightful place, your home upon the earth, for you to best fulfill your life's work. Now, that may mean that the system you have been doing your best to operate within has benefited from your light and presence more than you realize. It may also mean the time has come for you to shift from one system to another, that there is a new community in which you can serve. It may take time before you settle with confidence into your place within the new ecosystem, but that assurance will come in due course. In the meantime, remember that the way you best serve in any ecosystem is to be as authentically your divine and brilliantly flawed self as you can. Who you are and where you are and what you do, even if it doesn't make sense to you, is divine. Like, I'm a quote unquote self-aware, self-conscious, self-owning, awake, right? Quote unquote red pill awake person. And yet I was still guided in all of my awareness to tell a lie. Because I understood. I understood that there was something going to be shown to me for it. And there was. There was. It was necessary. Don't judge yourself for being where you are. If you think about where souls are in the connection of things, right? Some people are more awake to the self than others. Some people are self-aware, but they're not mirror aware, right? Some people are not aware at all and they're running on default. Some people are consciously malicious, consciously dark, right? The other end of the spectrum, they're self-aware, but they're consciously dark. It's no different than there being like high and low totem, right? We've got worms and bugs on the bottom, and then we've got lizards and birds, and then mammals, and then humans, right? Top of the food chain, right? It's no different. Our ecosystem is built a certain way. It's no different with souls here. There's lots of energy that is dark. There's lots of bugs, right? Pests, insects, rodent type level of dark energy. And it does improve. And it keeps improving, you know? So wherever you fall on the spectrum, like the earth would not be with the same. It would not be the same without worms. Worms serve a serious fucking purpose. So do flies. So do spiders. So do mice. They all serve some kind of purpose in order to support the very top of the food chain. It's no different. The darkness serves the light. It serves the light. Those rodents and those bugs feed the people who are running on default. And those people who are running on default, not good or bad, just running on default, help the people who are becoming more aware of themselves and their choices and the consequences of their actions. And those people help support the people at the top who understand not just self-awareness, not just self-ownership, but the mirror of it all, the greater perspective of it all, the connection of it all, the beauty of it all, right? That they can hold gratitude for it all. The energy at the top holds gratitude for everything at the very bottom, even if it doesn't make sense. Like, to put this in a wild perspective for some of you, and y'all can agree, it could be an unfavorable opinion, but I'm going to say it. The top 1% of the world, the top 1% earners, who understand in the mundane of things, not necessarily the spiritual of things, but the mundane of things, how they need people under them, who 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 need people working at McDonald's and running garbage trucks and working at Walmart and wherever, gas stations, right? The everyday jobs. The people at the very top understand how important it is to have everybody doing those jobs, because they wouldn't be able to benefit at the top if those people weren't working and doing those jobs. They hold gratitude for everybody, even though they benefit off of everybody. Right? They see things differently. As above and so below. If souls are in an energetic spectrum, that is why humanity is also in a mundane spectrum. And as we start to work on ourselves and we start to ripple and we start to heal and we start to become more self-aware and choose better, eventually those things start to even out and it's not such a pyramid. It is more of a balanced whole, serving a purpose in a different way. So understand your place in the ecosystem and know that the sacred ecosystem, and know that you're allowed to elevate. You're not beholden to the lower class just because you were born into the lower class. You can become middle class. You can become upper class. You can become elite. Who said you're stuck inside your class? Just because I was born to lower middle class energy does not mean that I can't achieve something elite. Literally, spiritually, or materially speaking, right? You've got to be able to open your mind to the potential of all that you can be when you're not beholden to a certain reality. Like flies are flies, right? Flies are born flies, they'll die flies. They'll always be flies and create more flies, right? Just like low vibe people, wounded people, ancestral karma. Karma gets passed down. Well, you're a drunk because your dad was a drunk and his dad was a drunk and their father was a drunk, and we come from a family of drunks. Maybe you don't drink. That's what reincarnation is. The fly doesn't always come back as a fly. Maybe this time it came back as the bird that eats the fly. You know? So let yourself morph. Choose to morph. Let go of the old self, right? We were talking about the betrayal card in the reverse. Let go of the old self. Sacrifice the old self, right? Self-sacrifice. Let go of the old self. Let go of the material temptation to stay who you were and always have been and always will be, and just choose something different. Take some time to separate yourself, right? Separate yourself from energy. Spend some time in nature. Get some fresh air. Be in your car and watch the river type thing. If it's too cold or something. Or too fucking hot, right? Oh, it's all good, Landon. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry that happened. It's okay. It's okay. Trust yourself, right? This is literally the discussion that we've been having, is trusting yourself in your place. So it's all right. Love who you are and what you offer. Sometimes people like it and sometimes people don't. Sometimes people are interested and sometimes people are not. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, and that's fine. There is nothing wrong with the way events transpire ever. So it's all good. Sometimes we end up in timeout. Sometimes timeout's over. Truth though. My mom, she had put me in timeout once. I was a stubborn kid. When I tell you I was a fucking firecracker, I was. I got in trouble for something because I don't remember. But I got in trouble for something and I was going like this. Right, shoulders up, arms crossed, letting her know I was so sad. I was so angry. She goes, "Put your shoulders down, stop that." And I said, "No." And she told me to go sit on the steps and time out until I put my shoulders down. 3 hours later. I did. I sat there on the steps like this for 3 hours. Everybody else was playing. My parents were watching their show. My sister was playing with dolls and shit, and I'm sitting on the step just... And I was allowed out of timeout whenever I decided to put my shoulders down. I could have got out at any time. All I had to do was put my shoulders down. I was out of timeout as soon as I put them down. No. And you know what? Maybe that's life. You know, if you feel like you're in spiritual timeout with whatever the fuck you're doing in life, maybe sometime you just have to give yourself permission to get out of timeout. You know? Maybe you just have to give yourself permission to stop being so damn stubborn and just get on with your life, right? Live your best life. I was a fucking pistol, man. I was a pistol. Anything to prove the point, right? It was the point. It was the point. Because I might have been right about why I was mad, and she was invalidating me. She would not validate why I was upset. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that I was not being validated. Like, I was legit upset. And I didn't act like that for no reason. Something probably legit wasn't right and pissed me off. And instead of actually addressing the issue that was making me mad, she told me to go in timeout until I put my shoulders down. And I was like, fuck this. Like, I got a reason to be pissed, right? Until I just didn't feel like it anymore. I didn't want to, my neck hurt. I was like, really? Really? How stubborn, right? How stubborn we can be sometimes. It's like, all right, so there was an injustice. What are you going to do? Right now that we're adults, there was an injustice. Something's not right. What are you going to do? Either you got to let it go and keep going, or acknowledge it and find a solution so that you don't deal with that again. Right? If we go back into the analogy of the cheat, like if you know someone's cheating, either you got to roll with it knowing that they're a cheater, or let them the fuck go because it's unjust, right? And you got to choose, and it's fine, but you can't just sit there pissed off. You got to make a choice and accept it, right? You've got to accept your truth that you would rather be with this person, even if they're a cheat, than not, or you don't want to be with a cheat, right? Yeah, I never talked about that with my mother after that. She just knew that if I got up, it's because I put my shoulders down. I came in and said goodnight, and that was it. Oh my God. Really? I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Really. Thank you for all your presence and all your comments and all of the likes and everything. You guys are great. I will see you all tomorrow because the weekly duality report will be live publicly for the week, right? It'll be public for the week and then it'll go to members only. So I'll catch you guys again tomorrow for that. All right. I love you. And until next we meet. You're welcome. Goodbye, everyone.